What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and yes, I am making a video talking about Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars, and I know, everyone who clicked on this has a like-minded mindset. They're like, why would you even need to make a video about Jar Jar? I mean, everyone knows Jar Jar is just the hottest creature, not only in the Star Wars universe, but in the universe ever. Jar Jar is just peak perfection. They're the best thing that's ever been invented before on Earth. And yes, I know, we all have the same conclusion here. However, it appears that there's a very small minority out there that does believe that Jar Jar Binks is not hot, which is why in today's YouTube video I'll be breaking down some of my favorite reasons on why Jar Jar Binks is indeed the hottest character ever in Star Wars, and in fact ever on the United States of America. So without further ado, let's get right into everything you should know. So for our first reason, we have to talk about how chiseled Jar Jar Binks' abs actually are. I mean, there's an image on screen right now, but I mean, just dang, look at that, right? That is peak perfection. That is what everyone wonders. You wonder why in the Star Wars universe, in the actual shows and movies, he doesn't take off his clothes? That's because you would be stunned by just how beautiful of a body Jar Jar Binks actually has. I mean, those rock-hard abs just really give that defining characteristics to how hot he is. But of course, his looks aren't the only reason, because we gotta talk about his language as well. Now, aside from the fact that Jar Jar Binks has a hot voice, he also speaks his own language. He speaks Gunganese, which is a part of the Gungan species. And while this language is very similar to English, think about it. You want to be multilingual, you want to know how to get all these other languages in your vocabulary, because not only would it help you get a job because you are able to communicate with more customers from a different variety of species, regions, languages, all that type of stuff, but you also get to listen to Jar Jar Binks' voice the entire time you're learning it due to how close it is to English. So even if you don't fully understand a sentence, you'll actually still be able to understand some of the stuff that is being said, and it's just another nice thing to have. You're not only just getting this person himself, but you're also getting the language lessons for completely free. I mean, imagine, Jar Jar Binks would probably be paying you a premium if you weren't in a committed relationship with them. They'd be paying you top dollar just because not only are you going to be blessed with learning a new language, you're also going to be blessed with Jar Jar Binks' voice daily. And sure, I understand, you might be like, well, looks and the sound of their voice along with them being able to teach you a new language isn't everything. Are they a gamer by any chance? And the answer to that is 100% yes. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Epic Games, the creators of the video game Fortnite, actually included a reference to Jar Jar Binks in their Star Wars live event. And not just any reference to Jar Jar Binks, but they mention him being Darth Jar Jar, which hints at the fact that Jar Jar Binks might actually be a Sith Lord behind the scenes. And think about that. That's just another thing to add on the pile. They're a gamer, they know multiple languages, or at least they can teach you multiple languages. They have a nice sounding voice, they got nice abs. But on top of that, if you need them to use the Force to go get you some McDonald's, you can get them to use the Force to get you food. They can use the Force to, help lift heavy objects. You need something that's super high up on a shelf? Don't worry, just hit up Darth Jar Jar. They got you no matter what, It's just like there's so many applications other than just them being hot that adds to the fact that Jar Jar Binks is the best character ever to be in a relationship with. Yes, that's right, we're going past the hot aspect of Jar Jar. We're talking about a committed full-time 24/7 hours a day relationship. And now I could go on all day talking about the major different reasons out there on why Jar Jar Binks is the absolute Chad of a person, just inside of the world, outside of the world, no matter what, they are just a Chad, the peak definition of one. I could go on all day talking about that, but I do want to mention one final thing. They got a long tongue, and I know what you might be thinking. Wait, what's the point of this? Well, if you've been playing LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, then you'll know how long this tongue can actually go. You can know what that tongue can do, because in a scene where you're actually flying away from Darth Maul, Jar Jar Binks gets his tongue stuck on the actual ship, and because of this, you're able to actually grab onto Jar Jar at the very end of the scene in order to safely fly away, even though originally you wouldn't be able to make it to that ship due to the battle with Darth Maul currently taking place. So that tongue can be a lifesaver on top of the fact that they're hiding the aspect of their supernatural Sith Lord powers from everyone just so that they don't accidentally cause any chaos where it doesn't need to be caused, because the only chaos chaos they're going to be causing is the chaos of messing with your heart, because let me tell you, they're the perfect one out there. And by messing with your heart, I mean they're going to make it so perfect. They're going to make you feel loved. They're going to make you feel home. You know, they're just going to be there for you no matter what. And sure, they might be clumsy at times, but at the end of the day, the remaining factors out there that I've already talked about in this video, including the 50,000 others I haven't already talked about, just show how Jar Jar Binks is peak perfection. Anyways, with that said, if you enjoyed today's YouTube video and you agreed with my commentary about Jar Jar Binks, consider subscribing and support the content I create. And with that said, I'll see you champs and champettes later with another YouTube video. Peace out.